everyone, I'm Mrs. Karlichik and today we are going to be reading a book together. Let's start by reading our learning intention. We are learning to make a prediction. Now remember, when we're making a prediction, our job is to look at the title of the book and to look at the picture to help us make a prediction. We also start our sentence with the words, I predict. Okay, let's have a closer look at this book and this title. So this story is called The Very Hungry Bear. Have a think, do you recognise one of the characters from another story that we've read? You do. I know this character. This character is Bear, and he's from The Very Cranky Bear and The Very Noisy Bear. I wonder what adventure he'll get up to today. I'm going to make a prediction now, and I can see that there's a polar bear and he's carrying some fish. Polar bear and some fish, and the other bear has a fork in his hand. So I'm thinking, I predict this story will be about Bear being really, really hungry and wanting some of the polar bear's fish. Can you have a go at making your own prediction? What do you think is going to happen in our story, The Very Hungry Bear? Okay, let's start reading the story and see what happens. The Very Hungry Bear by Nick Bland. He's the author. Remember, that's the person who writes the story. The Very Hungry Bear. Can you say that with me? The Very Hungry Bear. Bear was in a grumpy mood. He hadn't eaten any food, and he couldn't catch a single fish to cook. He'd been hungry since the break of day, and every fish had got away. Oh, I can see in the picture that Bear looks very angry. He has an angry face. His back looks very angry as well. Now suddenly something huge was on his hook. Yank! He cranked the handle round and round. He yanked the line and wound and wound. He flicked it here and waved it over there. A hungry bear is very strong, so it didn't take him very long to discover that he'd caught. What do you think he's caught? Have a think. A polar bear. Do you have to fish there? Said the hungry bear. You are catching all of the fish. I'm sorry, he said, so as he lifted his head. You can have one of mine if you wish. So instead of catching a fish, the cranky bear has caught the polar bear, who's holding all of the fish. Then he added with a smile, you can have the whole pile, if you'll just find me somewhere to stay. My iceberg is shrinking and soon I'll be sinking, and my home's such a long way away. Oh no, I wonder if Bear will help him. Now a fish to a bear is like a chocolate eclair. It's incredibly hard to resist. So the thought of a pile that would last for a while was an offer too good to be missed. So it looks like the bear has decided he's going to help the polar bear, and the polar bear has given the bear some fish. With a splosh and a splish and an armful of fish, Bear led the way through the trees. My cave's over there and I'm happy to share. You can stay for as long as you please. Oh, I can see the polar bear is carrying his iceberg and it's melting. But his guest shook his head. I'm so sorry, he said. Whilst your cave is particularly nice, it's just a bit hot for this coat that I've got, and the fire is melting my ice. I'm thinking it must be a bit too hot because I know polar bears are meant to be where it's cold, for cold weather. So having a fire would be too hot. So they went to see Mole and he dug them a hole which was cooler but just a bit small. Do you think polar bear's going to fit in this hole? I don't think so either. and they visited Croc on his cool river rock, but he wasn't that helpful at all. Oh no, what's Crocodile trying to do? It's trying to eat them, oh no. Perhaps this is best, said Bear from a nest, but I think that I'm going to sneeze. Then he squinted his eyes and he said with a surprise, "Ah-choo! I'm allergic to trees." So the bear with white hair followed right behind Bear to the only place left they could go, away from the trees and the warm summer breeze. I wonder where they're going to go. Can you have a think? I predict they're going to go somewhere cooler. All the way up to the snow. They built him a home with an icy white dome. And Bear left a housewarming dish. Can you see what he's left? He's left him a pine cone and a fish. With a smile and a wave, Bear went back to his cave. And he stopped on the way for a fish. In this picture, I can see that the moon is in the sky, so that tells me it's night time now. I can also see that Bear is sitting on a rock fishing with his fishing rod. Thanks for listening to our story today, boys and girls. Remember, this story was called The Very Hungry Bear.